You ever feel like no matter how hard you try, breaking bad habits seems impossible? Maybe you've told yourself, tomorrow will be different, but tomorrow looks just like today. Here's the thing. Most people get stuck in this loop because they're missing one critical element: intention. It's not just about willpower or repetition, it's about making a deliberate choice to design the life you want, starting with the habits you build. Now, I know this sounds a bit counterintuitive because we've all been told that habits should be automatic, right? But what if I told you that being intentional in how you form habits could accelerate your growth in ways you never thought possible? Let's dive into the psychology and neuroscience behind this and uncover how you can start creating habits that truly stick, starting today. The neuroscience behind habit formation. Habits are the brain's way of conserving energy. Every time you perform a repetitive action, your brain builds neural pathways that make that action easier the next time you do it. Think of it like walking down the same dirt road day after day. It becomes smoother and easier to travel. The basal ganglia, the part of the brain responsible for habit formation, thrives on this repetition. But here's the catch. Without intention, your brain defaults to whatever feels easiest, even if it's unhealthy. To build better habits, you need to be aware of this process and consciously direct your brain toward actions that serve you. One simple practice: start by visualizing the new habit before doing it. This primes your brain to recognize it as important, strengthening the neural pathway for that behavior. Why willpower isn't enough. And everyone thinks they need more willpower to change, but science tells a different story. Willpower is like a muscle. It gets fatigued the more you use it. Relying solely on willpower to build habits is like trying to run a marathon without any training. Psychologically, it's exhausting. Instead of white-knuckling your way through, use your environment to support your goals. For example, if you want to start meditating every morning, set up a corner of your room that's dedicated to meditation. Having a physical cue can trigger the behavior without draining your mental energy. According to psychologists, creating an environment that aligns with your intentions helps reinforce positive habits with minimal effort. The power of micro-habits. Big changes often fail because they're overwhelming. But what if you could make progress by doing something so small it feels almost effortless? Enter micro-habits. These tiny actions may seem insignificant at first, but they work by bypassing the brain's resistance to change. Research shows that taking small, consistent actions helps rewire the brain for long-term success. For instance, if your goal is to start running, don't focus on running a marathon right away. Instead, start by putting on your running shoes each morning. The simple act of getting ready primes your brain for the larger behavior, and before you know it, running becomes part of your routine. Overcoming the plateau effect. Here's something you don't hear often. Hitting a plateau in your habits is completely normal. The brain loves efficiency, so once it's mastered a new habit, it switches into autopilot. This can make it feel like you're not making progress, but don't let that discourage you. The key to breaking through is to continually challenge your brain. Introduce variability into your habits. Take a new route during your daily walk or increase the difficulty of your workouts. Neuroscientists have found that challenging the brain with new stimuli helps it stay engaged, making it easier to push through plateaus and continue growing. The importance of self-compassion. It's easy to get frustrated when building new habits doesn't go as smoothly as planned, but here's a trick. Be kind to yourself. Research shows that people who practice self-compassion are more likely to stick to their goals. When you mess up, your brain's default reaction might be self-criticism, which can trigger stress responses that actually make it harder to recover. Instead, approach your setbacks with curiosity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This mindset helps your brain process mistakes as learning opportunities rather than failures, keeping you on track for long-term success. Celebrating small wins. One of the most effective ways to cement a new habit is by celebrating each small victory along the way. Neuroscience tells us that dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, spikes when we achieve something, no matter how small. This burst of dopamine not only makes you feel good, but also strengthens the neural pathways associated with that habit. So, if you manage to drink an extra glass of water today or read 10 pages of a book, celebrate it. Over time, these small wins accumulate, reinforcing the habit and making it a natural part of your routine. Now that you understand how powerful intentional habit formation can be, what's stopping you from making that first move? You've learned that building habits isn't about sheer willpower or luck. It's about working with your brain, not against it. What's one small step you can take today that aligns with your long-term goals? Remember, the journey to lasting change starts with a single intentional action. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it. And hey, if you want more tips on how to elevate your mind and life, be sure to subscribe to the Good Brain channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more life-changing insights. What habit will you start creating today? Let me know in the comments.